Okay, so my question is, how do I be consistent with my practice? I haven't been, and it's been making me feel really defeated.
Okay. There was a term that I just actually read over this weekend. I forget what book it's in and who wrote it, but they talked about something called a keystone practice. So if you have a keystone practice, we think about all of the things that we should do in our life, right? I want to go to the gym more. I want to meditate more. I want to do yoga more. I want to eat better. I want to, work more efficiently. And we get this big long list of stuff that we want to do, and then when we don't get it accomplished, we just start to feel really bad about ourselves. But the idea is to take one thing, something that's important to you, and make it kind of a keystone practice. Let's talk about it in terms of meditation. So if you can get one thing and you can at least do that, then what you will notice is that you'll have some kind of control over yourself, and it's like dominoes. You'll be able to get other things accomplished. So if we're going to make meditation your keystone practice, oftentimes what's really useful is to find a routine of some sort. A routine is to kind of think, what is the best time of day that's good for you? I think before you mentioned your best time of day is the morning, right?
Mm.
So your best time of day is the morning. So what you do is you make a little bit of a routine. Every time, at a certain time, you go to a certain place, okay? So you find some place that's comfortable for you in your house. You can designate that your special place, and you can set it up for yourself if you want. If you wanted to, you can set it up with things like an altar. You could put things on it, or pictures, or you could have writings or books or anything that gives you a sense of this place is a little bit sacred to me. Me, I don't really like all the accoutrement. I just like a white wall, but everybody likes different things. It doesn't really matter. So you have a specific place and you have a specific time. And then you make kind of a promise to yourself, because some days you're not going to make it. You're going to say, I'm going to study and I'm going to meditate 30 minutes every day, and you only get through 5, and then you're going to beat yourselves up. But let's choose some amount of time that no matter what you can do. How about honestly just start with this? What you're going to do is just walk over and sit your butt down on the cushion. Boom. If that's all you got that day, check it out. You're done. But once you sit there, if you're like, well, I actually could sit a couple seconds, and you start to sit, then you can start to let that time kind of evolve organically. And then you're going to start to get kind of like a baseline. What that means is there's a certain amount of time that you will sit kind of no matter what. Let's say 5 minutes or something like that, or 10 minutes. Once you get that baseline, it's good to do and use a timer. A timer kind of keeps you honest. And also when you're kind of trying to push yourself a little bit, you can use a timer to kind of set more time and make these agreements with yourself. The amount of time that you sit, what will happen is you'll start to develop resistance at different periods of time. Oftentimes it's like at the 10, 15 minute mark, and also the 20-minute mark. What happens is getting to 10 minutes can be hard, but if you just wait to 10 minutes, then you kind of settle in a little bit. And then maybe getting to 15, 20 minutes is hard, but then if you waited past 20 minutes, you would settle in a little bit. So there are a lot of really interesting studies that have been done on different kinds of keystone practices. For example, if you look at a lot of successful people, or if you look at a lot of religious cultures, you see that they all have something like some kind of food restriction. So when you can control something like food, even just a little bit, like no pork or no meat or no wine or whatever, then what that does is that gives you control of one of the more primal things in your life, one of the strongest areas of attachment. And because of that, it becomes easier to start to look at other aspects of our life. So first thing I would do is I would challenge you to set up kind of a keystone practice. And for you, try the meditation in the morning and make an agreement. Literally, you're just going to put your butt down and that's it, if that's all you do. If you go to pee and you're going to start to look at that cushion as you're on your way to the toilet, you're going to be like, that sucks, I don't want to go sit down. But you just make an agreement. Literally, just put your butt down and then let your conscience be clean. You don't need to beat yourself up and try to flagellate yourself with your own psychological cat of nine tails. That doesn't serve any purpose. The mind and what it thinks about is what you will become. And what happens is most of the time we're thinking about something that's negative to ourselves, and it's causing us to suffer, and it makes you feel defeated, or it makes you feel guilty, or it makes you feel less of who you are. So this try mind, we say, eventually becomes do mind. First, you have to have a try mind. You try, and then eventually what happens is some sits will be really strong, and you'll just be like, wow, I'm sitting really strong. I just talked to a friend the other day. He couldn't get through 5 minutes. He texted me yesterday, he got through an hour, and it felt like nothing. So he's been doing it consistently for a year now. Every day, almost every day. He's got 2 kids, a crazy life. He's in Korea, there's coronavirus everywhere. And he still sits down, sometimes only 5 minutes, sometimes 30. He did an hour yesterday and it felt like nothing. So the first thing I would say is the keystone practice, and the second thing I would say is let that other stuff go. It's not serving you. You're just whipping yourself. Just let it go and say, hey, tomorrow I'm going to go and I'm going to sit down on that cushion. And if you want, you can think of it as a challenge. I'm going to sit down on that cushion a little bit longer to kind of make up for today, kind of like you're going to the gym. Okay?